The White House said that President Donald Trump is discussing options for acquiring Greenland, including potential use of the US's military in a revival of his ambition to control the strategic island despite European objections. In a statement, White House said that President Donald Trump is discussing option for acquiring Greenland. Has not deterred Donald Trump from reviewing how to make Greenland a U.S. hub in an area where there is growing interest from Russia and China as well. Donald Trump's interest, initially voiced back in the year of 2019 during his first term in office, has been rekindled in the recent days in the wake of the U.S.'s arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Emboldened by Maduro's capture last weekend, Donald Trump has voiced his belief that American dominance in the Western Hemisphere will never be questioned again and has put pressure on both Colombia as well as Cuba. He has also started talking about Greenland again after putting it on the back burner for months. A senior U.S. official speaking on condition of anonymity to discuss internal deliberations said Donald Trump and his advisors are discussing a variety of ways to acquire Greenland. The White House has also said that President Donald Trump is now discussing multiple options for acquiring Greenland, including potential use of the US's military if required, in a revival of his ambition to control the strategic island despite European objections. He stopped talking about Greenland for a while, but now we are back to square one, where in the last couple of months, Donald Trump has shifted his attention to acquiring Greenland and also spoke about why it is important to America from the lens of strategic purview.
Well, first of all, my approach to these issues is if it's not broken, don't fix it. NATO played its role in European security since its establishment in 1949, with the United States being the pivotal central power. The English-speaking countries, US, UK, and Canada, were responsible for about 80% of the NATO budget. Greenland can be protected with the United States or Canadian or joint European forces. There is no immediate necessity, in my view, for the United States to annex Greenland. So why do we need to create this conflict within NATO that, as you pointed out, may lead to a threat to NATO existence, when the real threats to the West collectively are China and Russia and Iran? So I do not understand why does President Trump need to escalate the rhetoric around Greenland? And also, if it's so important for him, why not negotiate with Denmark, which also, let's be frank, for the last 300 years, it is a colonial power of Europeans dominating indigenous people of Greenland. But I could propose a pathway in which there is a referendum and all options are on the table: the status quo, independence of Greenland, or some kind of an alliance with the United States, and let the people of Greenland decide. Single track, one-sided rhetoric such as offered by President Trump, I think the downside is escalation within NATO with our European allies, when the unfinished business of the war in Ukraine that UK and US were co-signatories on the Budapest Protocol that guaranteed sovereignty of Ukraine, and one of the sides to the Budapest Protocol, Russia, violated it, as well as other treaties it signed with Ukraine. Why do we need the internal NATO conflict when the Russian issue, and eventually down the road, of course, the Taiwan issue vis-a-vis